Hello everyone, my name is Erin, talking to you from Goddard Space Flight Center in Maryland, and I am very excited because today we are going to be taking a journey through our solar system. We're going to be learning about all the objects we have inside of our solar system. Are you ready? Great, let's get started. To begin our journey, we need to start in one of these objects. Who can tell me, what are we looking at? If you answered a galaxy, you are correct. If you answered the Milky Way galaxy, you're also correct, as that is the name of our galaxy. But believe it or not, this is not a picture of our Milky Way. Since we are located inside the Milky Way, we do not have any pictures of our own galaxy. So this is of our neighbor, the Andromeda galaxy. It's the closest in size, shape, and distance to our own, so we can learn a lot of great information about the Milky Way by taking a look at our neighbor. Inside our solar system, which would be a tiny little speck inside the Milky Way galaxy, we have a lot of stuff. What can we find inside of our solar system? We have planets. We have a star, just one star called, what's that called again? The sun, very good. We also have asteroids. We have comets. So we have a lot to learn about. Let's get started. Let's first talk about planets. We actually have two different types of planets inside our solar system. We have major planets and dwarf planets. Now we'll talk about dwarf planets a little bit later. Let's first talk about major planets. These are grouped into two more groups, and it's all based on where they're located from the sun. The first group of major planets are closest to the sun, and they are called the inner planets. Let's all name these together from left to right. Go ahead. Our inner planets made of rock are Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. The next group of major planets are further away, so they are called the outer planets. Let's all name these together once again from left to right. Go ahead. The outer planets made of a different material called gas are Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. All of our planets, as well as all objects in our solar system, follow a path around the sun. What is that path called? If you said orbit, you are correct. Many people used to think that orbits were in the shape of perfect circles, but in fact, they're actually the shape of ovals. Let's take a look at what these would look like from space.
In 1600, Johannes Kepler, a famous astronomer, proved that the planets orbited the sun in an ellipse. That's another geometric shape. If you take a circle and squash it a bit, you get an ellipse.
There we saw those beautiful elliptical orbits. That bright object smack dab in the center is going to be our first stop. Who can tell me, what is this? This is the sun, my friends, our star in the center of our solar system. You can see there are many really neat features coming on and off the sun itself. The sun is a very dynamic star. It is made of superheated gases. The temperatures on the surface of the sun can vary between 7,000 to 11,000 degrees Fahrenheit, even hotter than that. We also can see reactions coming on and off the sun itself. This was taken from one of our NASA satellites called the Solar Dynamic Observatory. And you're about to see something very exciting. Oh, did you all see that? That is what we call a coronal mass ejection, or CME for short. Very, very neat, and it makes our scientists here at NASA very excited. Now, the sun is the largest object inside of our solar system. So I'm wondering, how many planet Earths can we fit inside the sun? Just take a guess. I'm sure you have some great answers. Believe it or not, boys and girls, we can fit 1 million Earths inside the sun. Here is a comparison between our planet Earth and the sun itself. Look how tiny that is. Another neat fact, if you took all the planets in our solar system and fit them inside the sun, you would still have plenty of room to spare. In fact, here are all the planets lined up in a row. They're not like this in real life, but scientists wanted to show you, first off, the major and the dwarf planets, which you see major on top, the dwarf planets are on the bottom, as well as the different sizes. And you can also see here that you can barely see all of the sun. We are about to begin our planetary journey, starting with our first major planet, and that is going to be, well, who can tell me? What is this planet called? Mercury. Mercury is a very unique planet, closest to the sun. We are at 36 million miles away from the sun right now. We've actually been exploring Mercury with the help of the MESSENGER satellite. Here's a black and white photograph taken of Mercury. During the daytime, Mercury's temperature can rise above 806 degrees Fahrenheit. However, it is not the hottest planet. What are some facts that you know about Mercury? Excellent job, students. Let's move on to our next planetary stop. It is going to be the second planet from the sun. Who can tell me? What is this planet called? Venus is right. Venus is the second planet from the sun, 67 million miles away. And even though it is the hottest, even though it is the second planet from the sun, I just gave you the answer, it is the hottest planet in the solar system. The reason why? You're looking at it right here. The very thick clouds that envelop the planet, you see highlighted in blue, act like a very warm winter blanket, trapping in all of those hot temperatures. If we took a very large vacuum cleaner and sucked away all those clouds, this is what Venus would look like. Not very nice, because during the daytime, the temperature on Venus can average about 864 degrees Fahrenheit. Do you happen to know any more facts about Venus? Wonderful work. We're going to move right along to this next stop that I'm really not quite sure what this planet's called. Maybe you all can help me out. This is our planet Earth. Very good. I want to ask you all, why is our planet so special? We are very lucky to live here on planet Earth for all of the reasons that you just mentioned. We are the only planet that we know of that can support life. We are the perfect distance away from our sun, 93 million miles away, to be the perfect temperature. We have an organic atmosphere with air for us to breathe. We also have a lot of that blue stuff. That blue stuff is water. Most of our planet is covered with water. Our planet also has something going around ourselves that we have not seen yet around Mercury or Venus. What do we typically see at nighttime, boys and girls, in our sky? The moon, that is right. We can also see it during the daytime as it does orbit around our planet every single day. Most often, though, we can see beautiful pictures of our moon at night. Now, the moon is a very special place for us here at NASA because we sent our astronauts to the surface during the 1960s and 1970s. Now we're looking beyond the moon and targeting Mars for our future missions. And I want you all to take a look around your classmates right now. Just take a look around. You are looking at the future men and women who will be walking on Mars one day. How many want to walk on Mars one day? Raise those hands high. Excellent. Well, I am sure you are wondering how far you'll be traveling from Earth, past the moon, and off to Mars. We asked that very same question to some friends of ours, so let's check it out.
Nancy Ann's got the moon, John's got the Mars, we've got Mars, I've got the model of the Earth, and what we're going to do is show you how far they should be from each other. So Nancy Ann, why don't you start heading out towards the end of the softball field, and I'll tell you when you're about the right distance away. Keep going. You've got to keep going. And that should be about right. That's about the relative distance between the Earth and the Moon, if these represent the sizes of the planets. And it looks like a long ways at this scale, and that's why it took our astronauts 3 or 4 days to get to the Moon during the Apollo program. Now we're going to look at what this means as far as going to Mars is concerned. So John's going to show us how far away his model of Mars would be from the model of the Earth if the scale was all the same. So John, why don't you head out, and I'll tell you when to stop. Of course, you know that Mars is farther away than the Moon. In fact, Mars is in its own orbit around the Sun rather than circling the Earth like the Moon does. You've got to keep going, John. That's not far enough. So even though we know it's farther away than the Moon is, sometimes we don't realize just how much further away it is. Keep going, John. You got long ways to go. It gives you an idea of the scale of the solar system and the distances we're going to have to travel when we send people to Mars. John, you're going to have to go through the gate and keep going for about 6 more miles.
6 miles? Oh man, I should let Nancy Ann be Mars.
Okay, John, I think you can stop now.
Man, maybe next time I'm gonna take the spaceship.
Poor John. He certainly got to work out. He had to run 6 miles in that demonstration to show the distance between Earth and Mars. Now, in reality, there are millions of miles separating our two planets. Mars is going to be our next stop, the 4th planet from the Sun, about 142 million miles away from the Sun itself. NASA has been exploring the surface of Mars for many decades, and most recently we have had rovers on its surface. We have had Spirit and Opportunity, which landed in 2004. Opportunity is still going strong. Help us discover that at one point in time there was liquid water on the surface of Mars. Most recently, Opportunity sent us this panoramic picture of the surface of Mars. Boys and girls, this is what you all could be looking at in the future when you all are walking on the surface of Mars. These robotic missions are helping us not only understand the planet Mars, but also prepare for your future missions off to the Red Planet. Joining Spirit and Opportunity, most recently in 2012, we have Curiosity. Curiosity is helping us understand if there ever was life on Mars. Very exciting science. What are some facts that you know about Mars? Great job, students. Believe it or not, we are only halfway through our journey. Now that we say goodbye to the inner planets, we need to say hello to a very rocky area dividing our two major planet groups called the asteroid belt. Asteroids are these oddly shaped rocks that separate our inner from our outer planets. Here are close-ups of two named Ida and Dactyl. I don't know about you, but I think they kind of look like potatoes. Believe me, they are much bigger than potatoes, and scientists at NASA monitor the movement of all these asteroids. If an asteroid happens to get kicked out of the belt and come toward planet Earth, we call those near-Earth asteroids. Not too long ago, we actually were visited by a near-Earth asteroid. Here you see in this animation here, the trajectory of the asteroid going from the bottom of your screen, a tiny little red dot, came within the orbit of the moon. Now this may seem still like a far distance to you and I, but to astronomers, this was literally in our backyard. So it made them very excited because we were able to observe an asteroid up close and personal. We've taken a look at inner planets, which are solid, they're made of rock. We've taken a look at asteroids. Now it's time for that next group of major planets called the outer planets. These are also known as the gas giants, and that can tell you two things. One, what they're made of, gas, and two, their size. These planets are enormous. In fact, our next stop has some bragging rights because it is known as the largest planet in our solar system. Everyone, what is this planet called? Jupiter, very good. Jupiter, located about 483 million miles away from the sun, is the largest planet in our solar system. It also has the most moons or natural satellites found around our planets in our system, about 64 and counting. We are still finding more. Jupiter is also very well known for a massive hurricane-like storm known as the Great Red Spot. Here you can see it up close compared to our planet Earth, which looks oh so tiny. This is a very interesting storm for our scientists to study because it is actually changing shape and changing size. By observing this storm, it helps us understand how storms here on Earth can form and change size as well. Moving on, now we're going to go to the prettiest planet in the solar system, in my personal opinion. Everyone, what is this planet called? Saturn. Very good. Saturn is very well known for these things right here. What are these things? Rings, and they may look very delicate, but in fact these are about 1 mile thick. The ring system is composed of thousands of ringlets made of dust, rock, and ice. Saturn, about 886 million miles away from our sun, has just a few less moons than Jupiter. 62 moons and counting, still finding more, can be found both inside and outside of the ring system around Saturn. What do you know about Saturn? Excellent job. We are almost to the end of our solar system. Now our next stop is over 1 billion miles away from our sun, 1.8 to be exact, and it is a very unique planet. What is the name of this planet, everyone? Uranus is right. Uranus, again, 1.8 billion miles away from the sun, is a very interesting planet for our scientists to study. First off, it has rings, but the rings are so difficult to see that we need to highlight them in red whenever we take photographs, which you see right here. take a closer look at these rings, boys and girls. Which direction are they moving? Up and down or left to right? These rings are moving up and down. That tells our scientists that this planet is actually tilted on its side. It's the only planet that spins like a tire, while the other planets in our system spin like a top. If we took 4 Earths and lined them up next to one another, that would equal the diameter, or the widest part, of Uranus. What other facts do you know about this planet? We are almost there, boys and girls. Now, Uranus is not alone in the universe and in our solar system. It has a twin, and that is going to be our next stop, Neptune. Beautiful blue Neptune is about similar size and similar color, as you saw, to Uranus. This planet is 2.8 billion miles away from the sun. Uranus is also well known for a storm, very similar to what we can find on other gas planets, including Jupiter. The Great Dark Spot, you see here in the center, spins around the planet at about 1,000 miles per hour on average. What other facts do you know about this planet? Now that we say goodbye to Neptune, we actually also say goodbye to the major planets and hello to that next group of planets. According to the International Astronomical Union, or IAU, very small objects that gravity can squash into a sphere and orbit around the sun are called dwarf planets. So, thanks to this brand new category, we have been able to name objects that we really weren't quite sure what to call. We actually skipped over a dwarf planet. There is one inside the asteroid belt named Ceres. Ceres is the only named dwarf planet inside the asteroid belt. The rest of the dwarf planets are outside of Neptune's neighborhood, including Pluto. Poor Pluto. Once a major planet, now a dwarf planet, it is 3.7 billion miles away from our sun. So far away, in fact, that this is the best picture we have of the planet and 3 of its 5 moons. So that is why NASA is sending the New Horizons satellite to go explore Pluto, its moons, and its neighboring area to understand more information about Pluto. Does anyone happen to know any more facts about Pluto? If so, what are they? We have 2 more dwarf planets to visit. This next one is one of my favorites to pronounce. So repeat after me. Makemake. Very good. Makemake was named a dwarf planet in July 2008. It is about 5 billion miles away from the sun, and that's all we know at this time. We are still learning more about Makemake. Our final stop in our visit today brings us to the outer edge of our solar system, to Eris. Eris, the largest named dwarf planet, and its moon Dysomnia, are about 9 billion miles away from our sun. In this artist's picture, we believe the sun would be this tiny little bright speck in the lower right-hand corner. So, boys and girls, can you tell me, what do you think it feels like on Eris? Very hot or very cold? I would have to agree it must be extremely cold on Eris. Now we have reached the end of our journey today, but believe it or not, there are still many more objects out in our solar system that we have not named yet. On this chart, every single pinpoint of color represents an object we know is out there between Saturn and Eris we have just not named yet. Maybe one day you will be naming these, or you'll be exploring them yourself. Congratulations, everyone. We have survived our journey. We have gone from the sun all the way out to the outer edges. I encourage you all to visit our NASA website and learn more about how NASA is exploring our solar system. Until next time, everyone, have a wonderful day and goodbye from NASA. Take care.